All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson talking about how a lot of these older so-called black women are demons, man. All right? And I ain't going to be singing their praises in this video, man. These older so-called black women, and I'm talking about women that are in like their 50s, their 60s, and like their early 70s, man, right? And going into how they're demons, man, right? A lot of them are demons, really. And why am I saying this, right? Because some people out there would think, oh, they're so-called, nah, these older so-called black women, they're righteous, man. It's these younger ones that are the demons. No, they learned from someone, man, right? They learned this stuff from someone, man, right? And you have to understand the age of our main teachers, man, from Great Millstone. And they say that they're within like their 50s and their 60s, right? So, and they've been teaching the word of the Lord before some of us men alive now was even born, right? Been teaching for almost 40 years, almost 30 years, 20, late 20s in years and all that, right? So who is they speaking to? They would have been speaking to women and men at the time that are the same age as them, right? But there would have been women that would have been the same age as them, right? That would have been the same age as them. But that would have also been there. There would have been Israelite women that would also have been there before we was born, right? That would have been these older so-called black women that we see now trying to act like they're righteous, man. But then Yahweh exposed their wickedness when he showed that Freaknik documentary, man, and showed that these women was just as big of a harlots as these women now, right? But because there wasn't no social media back then, they didn't put it on their Instagrams, but they would have been on Instagram, right, just like these women are now, man. But they want to try and make out like they're righteous because the Instagram and all the social media makes it be on show, the women's wickedness. But a lot of these other women are demons too, these older ones, but they just didn't have a social media account to put it on display, all their wickedness, man. So it was on videotapes. And if you didn't watch the documentary, you would never know about it. But Yahweh released that and showed it, man, and brought it back to people's minds what you older women was doing, man. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 25 and verse 16. I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman. So in that time that these our apostles was teaching the word, prior to us, some of us even being born, right? Would it not have been these older so-called black women that would have been some of their wives, right, at the time, that they are not with now? That said, you know what, forget this Bible stuff, I'm out. I'm gonna go deal with Jamal up the block, because he's gonna be a good rapper. I ain't got time for this Bible preacher to telling me that this world is gonna end. This world ain't gonna end nowhere. And they would have thought that that was confirmed in their mind when after 10 years, after 20 years, after 30 years, the society didn't crumble, right? And then they might have owned a house now and thought the word, see, I made the right choice. But then now that the society is starting to crumble again, former scoffers and former women that probably used to deal with our apostles and stuff like that, they've probably tried to contact them, man. They've probably tried to contact them, thinking that they can try and slide back in and have got all the goodies from the world when they was in their youth, and then said, now that I'm old and I'm crusty and I'm dry and no man's really trying to deal with me, I'm gonna have the nerve to try and go back to where I once dwelt, man. But the scriptures speak about that tells a man not to do that. So they're not gonna get a return on that, man. Just like how these younger women right now that have did the same thing to younger men, they're not gonna get a return either, right? They're not gonna get a return. Verse 17, the wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. And most of these women that are in their 30s and late 20s and teens, late teens and all that in age, right? Their 40s. They was raised by these wicked ass Israelite women that was born in their 50s and their 60s, man. In the 50s and in the 60s and in like the mid 70s. They was raised by them. Because them same women was kicking out fathers out of houses, man. Getting it, and then when Kevin Samuel was alive, having a nerve to be all on the Kevin Samuel podcast and all that, talking about how we're gonna fix this community, Kevin. When they're the same hoes that he used to be around, because he was in his 50s. So and he's looking at them like, hang on, you is part of the problem too. But they're trying to think they can try and, oh, no one saw my wickedness though, so I'm gonna try and play the game and make it like I never did nothing to nobody. Nah, you're a demon too, man. Some of you older so-called black women are demons too, man. Been raising most of these gremlin women and these gremlin jakes that are all up on the block with their pants hanging down, with a string vest on, man, with a do-rag, trying to get waves, looking to rob or stab or shoot somebody up that looks exactly like them, and sounding like a so-called black woman when they talk, but they've got a man's voice, so it seems like he's fogged out. No, he's just a so-called black woman being a demon, but because he's got a manly voice, he's considered as fog life. No, but if you listen to them, it just sounds like a so-called black woman though. And it's got the same mannerisms, man. And that's why when you look at a lot of these Israelites that was raised in a single mother parent household that didn't have the word of the Lord to guide them, right? And they don't believe that they're Israelites and don't have that process to guide them. They really just sound like an Israelite woman, man. A wicked Israelite woman. They sound like that. And it's disgusting to see, to be honest with you. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. Because a lot of these women are demons, and they was raised by their wicked ass mama, who was also a demon, man. That is an older so-called black woman born in like the 50s and the 60s and that, man, and the 70s and all that. Well, I mean, Salakia, man. I mean like a 50 or 60 years old. I don't mean 50s and 60s necessarily. I mean like they're 50, 60, and 70, mid 70s years, like early 70s years old, man. A lot of them are demons, man. Real talk, man. A lot of them. Verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So women are the main causes of wickedness in this world. Why is this society so wicked? What's one of the reasons why? Because women have been given a free rein to run their mouth, right? Women have been given a free rein in this society to run their mouth, bump their gums, and in doing that, because women don't have the thought process of what I do is gonna cause for somebody else to do something else. They just run around doing things, man, and in the process, they're causing for men to die, children, other women, and they don't care. They never look back and think, man, how many people have I did wrong to? You know what I mean? They never look back and think, you know what? Maybe I'm a harlot because this same position that I'm now in with my husband in the marriage chamber, right? I've been in this same position with 100 people before, and it wasn't a marriage. I didn't marry those according to this so-called world and that, but really according to Yahweh, all of those prior men are not your husband neither, because the first man that you dealt with, if he's still alive, in Yahweh's eyes, he's classed as your husband. And there's a lot of women that did even more numbers than that. And so then when they have daughters, they tell their daughters stuff like, don't settle down with the first man that you meet, that you be with, which is basically saying be a hoe. But that's a cold word of saying it, man. That's the slick way of trying to say it. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 25. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gather abroad. Now, a lot of these wicked Israelite women, they be giving their daughter liberty to gather abroad because they want to gather abroad. So on the weekend, right, they ain't watching what their children be doing because they got to go to the rave. They was going to the rave, man. A lot of these moms was. They was going to the rave themselves. So they wasn't watching what their children are going to be doing because they wanted to get their swerve on. You know, they had to try and still relive their youth. You know, and was going to raves, going to the club and that, dancing the night away, doing a whole bunch of madness, man. But then they want to try and act like they're righteous now. No, you're not, man. You're just old, and you know that you can't get away with doing that stuff no more. But if you so-called Israelite women, the ones that I'm talking about that are wicked, if you never aged and you still look like you did when you was in your 20s, you'd still be doing the same stuff that you was doing back then now. You'd still be doing it now, man, even worse. If she would not do as thou would have her cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce, but they ain't that don't work in this society because the bill of divorce ends up making a man end up losing most of what he's got, even if he ain't even got nothing, man. Even if he ain't really even got nothing, these demons women will take that even. They'll even take that. And you Israelite women, man, are causing a lot of the distress of this nation, and you don't want to take the blame, but then you want to have power. It don't work both ways, you demons. If you have power and you're in control of things and you want to run your mouth, I think that you get to decide how the community of the Israelites is going to flow, right? But then when it don't go right, you're to blame. You can't just run your mouth and say, oh, this is what I think it should be doing. The men ain't this, the men ain't that. The women are in charge. The women are running the show, thinking that in your mind, right? Which is not the truth, by the way. But then when it goes bad, you try and play dumb and be like, oh, I can't believe how this happened. How did this happen? The men need to step up. The men shouldn't have been listening to what we were saying, but most of y'all hoes kicked their dads out of the house, man. And I'm saying it exactly like that. Most of you hoes kicked these young these Israelite men that are in their 40s, 30s, and 20s and teens. You kicked their fathers out of the house at some point, man, because you knew that the system, which is backed by Esau, which is his enemy and your enemy, you kicked them out of the house so that you could try and run the show. And then when it went bad, you tried to say, oh, it's because his dad wasn't in his life. You tried to blame the dad. No, it's because you was in his life. That's why it is. It's because you was there. How's the parent that wasn't there going to get the blame? No, you was there. That's why it was a problem. Because you was a demon. And that's why when it goes bad, man, and it goes down, a lot of you women are going to get jacked up, man, because you ain't got no excuse, especially in countries like America, where the truth was getting pushed out for several years prior to the internet. You ain't got no excuse why you didn't teach your children from their birth that there was Israelites. Because a lot of y'all heard that you was Israelites before you even had any children, but you took it as nothing. Before the internet existed, man. A lot of you women that was born in America, you heard about you being Israelites, right? Before the internet existed, and you didn't think of anything with that information. You didn't when your daughters and your sons was growing up, you didn't tell them we're the Israelites. Here are some rules that we are supposed to do. Here are some things that we're not supposed to eat. You never said that. You still kept that black stuff going, man. And wanted your children to be basketball stars, rappers, and definitely didn't want them to call themselves Israelites, man. Definitely not. Definitely not, man. And there weren't no excuse like that because it wasn't like you was under the threat of death, like what the time when the Israelites was during the Greek Empire, where we was being Hellenized. No, you just willingly did it, man. And that's why a lot of you are gonna get jacked up, man. Real talk, man. A lot of you Israelite women, you old ones, young ones, you're gonna get jacked up, man. And I ain't did a video talking about you demons for a while, man. But you women are demons, man. And I don't care what. There's not no one that's gonna make me think that some of the ones that are okay are gonna be okay all the time. They ain't gonna gonna start making excuses because you're cursing out the wicked ones. Because when wicked men get talked about, the men don't start jumping up all up in the video talking about not all men. And even if we're that wicked man that's been talking about or got some of them traits, we acknowledge and we'll be like, you know what? Let me try and purge that out of myself then. Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9, rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. So listen up, you women, man. That's what the scripture's saying. Listen up. Because the world is going to start to go to a way that you women ain't ready for. Women are not, despite all these women running their mouth, giving all that lip, right? Talking all the time, trying to point in men's face, banging their hands, talking about what men need to qualify to be able to date them, as if they're just so worthy like that, as if they're just some virgin that no man's ever had before. And a lot of the things that they say when they're running their mouth about the man needs to have this amount of money, this amount of that, this amount of this amount of this. They've never even met that person before in their life, apart from when they maybe went paid money to go to a concert of their favorite musician or something like that. They never met that guy in real life, but they're trying to put all these standards up there, but they ain't never met that. And their highest standards should have been when they was a virgin, not when they'd slept with 40 plus men. But their mom should have told them that, since their father wasn't around because they got kicked out of the house by their mother. So the mom should have told them that that's what they're supposed to be like. But they didn't, because the mom was a demon that was thought had that same delusional mindset in the first place, which is why she kicked these Israelite men's fathers out of the house. Some of the time before they was even born, some of the time while they was young. And then dated the next fog around the area. Verse 10, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. They're going to be longing for a time when they was used to be able to have power, man. Oh, I missed the time when I could just go on a dating app and put in my requirements and what I want from a man. And then it would filter out all the men that are not like that in my area. And then I could just pick and choose which ones I think so handsome. That's what these women are going to be regretting that they can't do anymore. They're going to be lamenting for the time when they was able to just go on a show some pictures of themselves in a bikini, and they can get at least $1,000 extra income at the minimum a month, you know? Because now the world's going to get to a place where men ain't no longer thirsting for no OnlyFans or no stuff like that. They're going to be out in the real world. It's going to be post-apocalyptic, and they're going to be hunting for people, man. So the same things that they were getting their brains influxed with in the times that we're in now, they're going to want to try and see that stuff in real life. And they're going to be hunting you evil women, man. Yahweh's going to set them up. It's going to set up evil men to hunt evil women. And the righteous men ain't going to be nowhere to be found to help you women, man, because they're going to be tired of you too. And you're just going to be out there, left out there, man. And you're going to be looking disgusting in the process. So let's make that clear too. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16. Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet. So this isn't happening because the Israelite women are just fine, and because they're tens and they're bad queens, you know, and they're so humble and delicate flowers, and the men are to blame for everything. This is happening because of what you women have did, these things that I'm about to read. And some of these things have happened already, but going to have to happen again to really sell it straight that you women need to fix up, man. And not try and blame everybody else for why you're in the position that you're in, because you've sinned too. When the covenant got made with the Israelites, there was women there too. And when it was said, this is going to be on you and your children, this covenant's going to be for you and your children, it meant that. It didn't mean, oh, just the men are going to have to fix up and make sure that they don't have to do certain things. No. There's laws in the Bible that pertain only to women. There's the law of purification, of the separation period when a woman's on a menstrual cycle. But some of you women will be on your menstrual cycle, and you'll make sure that you go to the gym when you feel like that. You'll be all up on the gym, on your back with the leg press, with your legs all in the sky, hitting the leg press, man. And then some of you women are so gross that you'll still be wearing booty shorts and all that tight up on yourself, right? And your damn tampons be falling out while you're doing exercises, man. You're disgusting, bro. Or you be bleeding through the shorts. And I've seen these videos on the internet. It's disgusting. You ain't even got the kind of mentality like, you know what? I'm bleeding all over the place right now. This ain't really clean. This ain't really sanitary. Let me just not go gym for this week and do something else. Or do exercise in my house at least. You'll make sure to go around everyone else. And then some of you are so gross that then you even want to have to make it a public display and tell everybody that you're on that season of time. And tell them how harsh it, oh, this is a real bad one this month. We don't need to know that. Shut up. We don't need to know that information, man. Shut the fuck up, man. We don't need to know that. Verse 17. Therefore will the Lord smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. So Yahweh's discovering all the things that you women get up to, man. All your little adventures to Dubai, right? All your little adventures of adultery to the islands of Jamaica. All your little trips that you take, man. All your little concerts that you go to and the madness that you do there for these celebrities. All of it's coming out, man. All of your adultery, all of your whoredoms, all the ways how you're able to go on these trips and have all this money. All this information's coming out, man. And then you women think that you're exposing men when you be talking about, oh, I ate this man's B-hole. I ate this man's A-hole. I ate that man's A-hole. You're also exposing yourself too. Because that shows that you ain't got no integrity. Because if the money's right, you'll do just about anything. Yeah? So this podcast spirit has exposed you women to be demons too. It's exposed you, but you women be on there running your mouth, getting proud because the limelight's on you, thinking that you're exposing everybody else. No, you're exposing yourself too. You're exposing them demonic men that are wicked, but you're exposing yourself too. And then thinking that someone's jealous of you because you've got a bag that costs $10,000. But what did you have to do to get that bag? Because there's another woman out there that could get that bag because she's just a cool woman to her husband. But you had to taste number 2 to get that bag. And you think someone's jealous of you because of that? No. The Israelite man is not jealous of you demons, man. Because we know that the world's going in our favor anyway. It just takes a longer time. And we know how stupid you women are going to be looking when it goes bad like that. We know. You women are going to be looking horrible out here. And this is going into it, man. Verse 18. In that day, Yahweh will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet and their cords and their round ties like the moon. Yahweh's going to take away everything that makes you women think that you're tens. So there'll be a woman that literally will weigh 300 pounds, man. And be about 5'5". And she'll say she's a 10. And not be joking neither. She'll actually think that. For real. But then if you was to say to her, well, who else is a 10? The people that she would mention, she don't look nothing like them. They ain't even in the same weight class. She literally, in some cases, might weigh 3 times what they weigh. Literally. But what makes that woman proud? Social media, wigs, weave, fragrances, expensive clothes, makeup. These were the things that would make these women think that they're like that. Because if they walk around without all that stuff on, without their helmet of weave, right? Without their claws of nails, without their mask of makeup, right? Then they're not proud anymore, man. Verse 19. The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands, and the tablets, and the earrings, the rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen, and the hoods and the veils, all these things that make you women think that you're beautiful and actually do make you be beautiful in some cases. All of that stuff is going to be taken away to humble you all. And you're not going to be in front of men no more proud, man. You're not going to be in front of each other proud. You're not going to be having secret competitions when you're going out to the nightclub to see who can take home the biggest baller. You're not going to be doing that no more. You're going to be humbled, man. All that pride, you're going to get shown for what you really look like. You're going to get your hairline and all that stuff that you women be trying to laugh at regarding men. Where the men are going to find out that you've got the same kind of receding hairline that he's got. And they're going to be like, oh, man. And I was thinking that this woman was something special. She ain't nothing. It's going to be exposed, man. All you female celebrities that are attractive right now, that have got a beauty team following you around everywhere, you're going to lose that beauty team when all hell breaks loose, man. And you're just going to be out there. You're going to be out there, man. Verse 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink. So these women ain't going to smell like they do now. Some of them be stinking now anyway, man. That's been exposed too. That some of you women don't wash right. Yeah? That you don't wash right, man. That you be spraying aerosol containers down by your thing because the smell ain't right and you ain't got time to shower. Or you perceive it in your mind that you ain't, man. Stinking up the joint. But then got the nerve to be proud, man. Because you women in this captivity, like how we are. Because even the biggest Edomite racist, right, will still deal with some of y'all women if you look good enough to them. And you will then think that you're vindicated. Or we're all right then. Because this man, he only don't like the men of our nation. We're okay in his eyes. So we'll just accept that. No, he hates you too. And he wants us to be angry that he can deal with our women. And he deal with you to attack at us. And you men are with that. And that's why some of you be going to these places where you can, when you want sperm donors, and you've been making sure that you get an Edomite sperm, man. But then you live in a lifestyle that's not natural to bringing up children anyway. So you're demons for that. Because that's another thing that doesn't get mentioned enough. That a lot of you women are on that alphabet stuff, man. You freaks. You freaks, man. Verse 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well-set hair, boldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. It's gonna go bad for you women, man. You're not gonna look the same. I know you think you're tens and all that, right? But you're not tens now. So when all hell breaks loose, and you ain't got time to just spend an hour in front of the mirror, you ain't got time to try and step back from your longer size mirror and be like, oh, I wonder if the shoes match the bag. Or I wonder if the bag match the purse. Or I wonder if my eyeliner matches my toenails. Yeah, you ain't gonna get the time to do that no more. You ain't gonna get the time to rub off that makeup and be like, oh, I wonder what makeup I can wear best to get men to simp. Or I wonder which shoes I can wear to try and hike my glutes up to try and make it look like I'm rocking something under there. Or I wonder what body contouring clothes I can wear, or my zip on BBL shorts that make it look like I've got more in the glutes department than I have, but it's zipped on really, that I can deceive people. And then that's not even to mention how you women are mainly are a lot of friends with a lot of these alphabet men. A lot of you women have caused for that to be on the earth. You've helped that wicked ass spirit be on the earth, man. A lot of you women are the cause for why people don't even know what a woman is today. And even some of you say you don't know what it is. But you are one. You idiots. Verse 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. So all the men that have allowed you women to run around and be like this, right? All the men that have allowed you women to be like this are going to die, right? Because those men have helped and have enabled wickedness. And who's the main man that's helped all you women be like this? The main man that is wicked, Esau. And he's loved to see you women be like this because you and him have got a similar mentality. The Edomite man and all women have got a similar mentality, man, because the Edomite man acts like a feminine woman, a feminine person himself, man. He loves putting on women's clothes. He's the main one that's down for that. They just push our people that are wicked enough to be persuaded by that perverse spirit, and they push them as the face of it. But that's really Esau's thing. That's what he likes to do. That's why it's not really a big deal if a celebrity Edomite gets put in a dress. And that's why that's mainly the thing that they try and push on the Israelite man, because they know that he's the most manly of all men. So if they can push it out that and make him do that, then they know that he's really sold out. But if they try and sell it to an Edomite to do it, they're like, it's not really that big of a deal. Verse 26, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. So when all you women realize that you haven't got no men around to enable your wickedness anymore, that you can call the police on men, right? That you can be in the wrong, but still call the police and it goes for your favor. That you can commit adultery on your husbands like some of you women have did that are in their 50s and 60s. That Freaknik documentary is going to expose, man. Or has exposed already. A lot of you women, the men that enabled that spirit to be out are going to die, man. And when it does, you women are going to be confused and confounded because you're not going to be able to go back to the other men that you thought was nothing and wasn't going to ever be nothing. They ain't going to want you. So what are you going to do? Well, let's see. Because Yahweh's got something planned for some of you women, man. He's got a great disturbance in your lives planned, man. Micah chapter 7 and verse 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire of the streets. You women are going to be, man, you're going to be trampled, man. You're just going to be looking stupid. Because you're going to see the same men that you was laughing at their lives, being proud. Right? Talking about how they're bums and all of this. When some of you men ain't rich yourself. Let's just make that clear. A man making an average salary in whatever country they live, right? He's called a bum. But a woman making that same amount of money, she'll think that she's a queen because of that money. You know? A woman working in a fast food store, she'll think she's the shit because she's got her own money. But a man making that same amount of money, she'll think he ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? Because you women are delusional, man. And that's why when this goes down, a lot of you are going to be looking stupid and you're not going to be able to just try and come back and be like, oh, I repent. Nah. Some of you ain't going to be accepted, man. You're going to have to stay with the person that you chose. You're going to have to stay with who you thought was the leader, man. Esau, stay with him. Don't come to us. Don't come back around us. You're going to have to stay where you chose, man. You have to stay where you chose. And a lot of you are going to have already chose up for that. When you got that karagma in your hand, a lot of you Israelite women are going to be running to get that, man. Forget what he's talking about. He can't feed me, so I'm going to go to him then. If he would have fed me, I wouldn't have ran away and took myself and all of our children to go and get the karagma. And you're going to think that same excuses that he was always able to do are going to work. And that, if it goes bad, I'll just blame the father. Or if it goes bad, I'll just blame the men. Just like what Eve did. She got deceived by the serpent. And then she wanted to try and say, the serpent is... No, you listen to him. You listen to the serpent, though. And that's what a lot of you women are going to think you can do when you listen to the serpent again. Oh, he deceived me when I took the karagma, so I should be given a second chance. I shouldn't be put in this lake of fire. No, you're going in that lake of fire because you was deceived. And Yahweh knows that the deceived person and the deceiver belong to him. If you got deceived, you were supposed to get deceived. So Yahweh ain't going to be accepting of no excuse. He ain't going to be accepting of no excuse, man. And I'm not even going to read Isaiah 4:1. I'm not even going to read that for this lesson, man. I ain't going to read that one. I'm going to read this. A lot of you Israelite women are going to get karogmed, man. A lot of you already take implants anyway in your body now to try and stop pregnancy and all that. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a karogma in their right hand or in their foreheads. And this is for everyone, men and women. But a lot of women are going to do that because a lot of women did the thing that took place worldwide recently. A lot of them did that. They was down for that, man. They were scared, you know. They didn't have no health problems, but they still took it anyway. They still took it anyway, man. Even though their husbands might have said, you know what, I don't think we should take that, you know, I think we should wait longer. They was like, nah, forget what you're talking about. You ain't medically, are you a doctor now? And they took it, and some of them are dead now from doing that kind of thing. Some people are not alive anymore, unalived, yeah? Because they wanted to think that they knew more. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the karogma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And a lot of Israelite women are going to take this, man, and try and persuade us to take it. A lot of our women in general are going to get weak in that time. And it's going to be based on us to not to be persuaded by any of their weakness, right? No matter what they say. Oh, you're going to leave. You're going to leave me. See ya. Biden. I guess this is where we part ways. You know? Like, that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be, oh, babes. Oh, babes, nah. I'll do anything for you, girl. Nah. It's going to be, all right then. It's not going to be, obviously it's not going to be as simple as that, but that's what it's going to be though. The man's going to depart from his woman in that time then. Of the elect. Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and receive his image and receive his karogma in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And a lot of women are going to be the fuel of that fire, man. A lot of women are going to be in them flames. A lot of them. A lot of them, man. A lot of them women that be making these TikToks crying because they got stood up on a date, but then they ain't got no eye water for the people that they stood up on, all the dates that they stood up, man. And for all the men's money that they was spending out, and then dip on the date, man. They ain't got no tears for any of the people that Dave did wrong. They just got tears for all the wrongs that they perceive, that they went through, man. A lot of them are going to get judged, man. A lot of you women that was laughing when a man that was trying to tell you women to get right, and trying to say it in a more peaceful way. A lot of you laughed when he died, which he still had his own wickedness too. But a lot of you women laughed when he died because he was telling you to fix up. So how much more would you be laughing if you found out that a Hebrew Israelite that I told you to fix up died? You'd be laughing even more. And that's why the conclusion has been made, man, that a lot of you older so-called black women are demons, man. And you're the cause of these new wave of demonic women that we see now. Because a lot of you, especially in America, heard that you was an Israelite in your 20s, 30s, 40s, still knew about it in your 50s and 60s, and you never told your children that. You never told your daughters, and you never told your sons, and you was the main person around in the household teaching your children because you kicked the dads out of the house. And then when it went bad and the children didn't act right, you somehow blamed the dad for not being there when you made it so, because you kicked him out the house. or you knew he was a criminal, right? And then when the relationship wasn't going how you wanted, because he so-called cheated on you, because as according to what you say, you called the cops on him. Oh, this is where his stash is at, which the guy shouldn't have been selling no dirt anyway. But you didn't have a problem with the dirt he was selling until the relationship didn't go your way and got the charge dad locked up. And then dated another guy that's doing the same occupation as what he did. Because you like when that do that occupation. Because then when it goes bad, you can get them locked up. And we know all the wickedness of you women, man. We know all the wickedness of you Israelite women. You demons, man. And for the ones that are not demons, shalom. But for the ones that are, man, get ready, man. Because it's coming for you. It's coming for you. It's coming for you, man. This judgment's coming for you. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the elected nation of Israel. Shalom.